uh, control our character, behavior, so on and so forth, we're unable to live a normal life, yeah? As we know. So he says, David HaMelech asks, if somebody asks you, what do you want? Hashem tells you, okay, you tell me what you want, what are you going to say? According to him, it's his S500 or whatever, the BMW, what is it, yeah? So David HaMelech says, you can imagine, David HaMelech, right? He says, all I want is I ask Hashem one thing, that I should sit in the house of Hashem all my life. Imagine David HaMelech, who is everything, or who has a lot of things. All he asks is to peacefully to sit in Hashem's presence, in his domain. David HaMelech passionately expresses, for me, a close connection with Hashem is what I call good. You understand? We come into this world in order to make this connection with Hashem. Why? Because after 120, this connection is going to be what we're going to be left with for eternity. I was recently taking a shower and I said, how do we picture what this all needs? So imagine you're a Lego guy, yeah? And you just bought a million piece Lego. That's a lot of pieces, yeah? I don't do Lego, but you used to it, yeah?
No, David, where's David? Lego.
So imagine now, you're collecting these Lego pieces, right? And it's humongous. It's the whole world, basically. You have a Lego with the whole world. And you're building the buildings, and you're building the roads. And by the way, you also have to do the mitzvot, you have to learn Torah, you have to do everything else, correct? But you're not doing it. Why? Because you're saying, let me just build this building, and I'll be right there. I'll be just right there. And then you build this building, and after the building, you said, oh, let me just get this road. And like that, you're going for years and years and years and years and years. Meanwhile, the spirituality, you're like, I'll get there. 1 second, I'll get there. What happens is time goes by so quickly. I just recently was talking to somebody. I was like, time doesn't end, doesn't stop. Meaning, we could stop and we can go to sleep for, let's say, 5, 6, 7 hours, yeah? But time is going. We can take a rest, but time is going. We can never stop the time and say, whoa, 1 second, give me a chance to breathe. So what happens is all our life we're building these Lego, meaning accumulating real estate, cars, watches, this, that, all kinds of physical things, correct? When our time comes to go to the next world, guess what? The whole Lego set is broken, purposely, meaning it's smashed. Trach. So all those pieces that we were trying to put throughout here, thinking we're gonna come out with it, yeah, we end up with nothing. So what happens? In the next world, we don't take anything with us. The only thing we can take with us is the knowledge we accumulated, right? It's every book that we read, we can take with us. Every tzedakah that we did, every maser that we did, every good deed that we did, everything that Hashem considers spiritually that we did, we can take with us. 100%. We don't see it. Can you see the tzedakah that you gave? You cannot see it. It's already gone. You gave it to whatever. Yeah, they took it to Israel. You don't see it, but it's there in your bank. Can you see all the Gemara pages that you read? Yes, you could see it, technically, but it's there in your bank account. Here, a building, however, it's solid. Car is solid. Money is solid. Diamond is solid. Gold is solid. But what happens is when we go, we leave all that here. And when we come up there, we're there naked. You understand? That's why David HaMelech says what? I have everything, but I don't need that. All I need, Hashem, is I want to sit in your domain. Just like we're sitting right now here. How many times you spent already? 10 times maybe? Maybe 10 times. You don't understand how much these 10 times did for us in these 40, 50 or whatever, 20, 30 years that we've been living. Yeah? How much this 10 times did to us more than everything that we accumulated in our lifetime. This little time. So you're thinking, what do you mean? We just ate sushi and whatever. No. But we learned the Zera Shimshon. And because we learned the Zera Shimshon, we're going to end up learning with Zera Shimshon for eternity. And because we learned this book, we're going to learn with this author for eternity. And because we touched Rabbi Mig the Miller, we're going to learn with him for eternity. Hashem says, you give me the best you can, and I will. Hashem doesn't want us to finish everything. There's too many things to finish. But we have to at least give our best effort, and the best effort has to be the best effort. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we are going to be put on that seat. What he did today with David, that was a good one. Yeah, imagine a poor guy comes to you and he says, by the way, I need some tuition money, I can't, it's hard for me. And you're like, okay, and I need food. Yeah, okay, no problem. And I need this and that. And by the way, I need an S-Class Mercedes 500 or whatever. And he's like, what? Why should I give it to you? You were here? Yeah? He gave him an example. He says, imagine, David, somebody comes to you, you're rich, yeah? and he says, I need some tuition money, this, that. And at the end, you know what he says? I need an S-Class 500, whatever, Mercedes. So he goes, what would you tell him? So he didn't get it. And I was like, what do you mean? What are you, out of your mind? So he says the same thing, go to Hashem. Yes, Hashem, please, I need this, I need panas, I need good health, I need that. And finally, like, by the way, I need S-Class Mercedes. Hashem was like, what, are you serious? What, you can't drive in a Elantra? Well, why I gotta give you an S-Class? You hear? So it's reality, and guess what? We are gonna be on that hot seat. We are gonna be on that hot seat after 120, and we're not gonna know that they're talking about us. How did you treat your wife? No, I was very good to her. You know, it's interesting. My wife gave me a small book saying, "Oh, my wife is a queen," and she has a book says, "My husband is a king." And over there, it's very simple. It's very short. You could read it in one day. Yeah, did I say it right? I said it right.
Can I get a copy too?
Yeah, Bezat Hashem. You can buy it. Over there it says, why don't you picture yourself? Would you want to marry somebody that's like you? You hear what he says? Look at him. He's like, yeah, sure. But you know what? If you break it down, you'd be like, I would never want to be married to him. I never want to marry this guy. Why? He's always out with his friends, and he's smoking, and he's chilling, and he treats her nasty, and he doesn't pick up his underwear, and he waits until he's served, and he doesn't wash the dishes, and he doesn't. So imagine that's all gonna be your wife. Meaning you're saying, I would love to be with a guy like me. But she's a woman. But she has all your characteristics. You understand what I'm saying?
No, wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work, right?
Wouldn't work.
Oh.
It doesn't make sense then.
Why?
I don't wash dishes.
What? You don't wash dishes?
No.
Who said you shouldn't? Who are you? I don't understand.
What's wrong with washing dishes?
You should know. Washing dishes, it's the biggest chesed you could do for your wife. Doing the laundry is another big chesed. Why? If she sits around smoking, doing whatever all the time, yeah, you're right. But let's say she's taking care of your kids, and it's a little bit hard for her, and you see the dishes over there, and you just walk by, what do you think that is? What do you think that is? Who do you think you are? And therefore he's saying, would you be married to a person like you? Then why she should be married to a person like you? Who are you that she should be married to a person like you? Imagine the garbage that she takes. Why? Because you're such a good guy. No. So he's telling her probably in her book, imagine you to her, right? Would you be married to somebody like you? Who has an attitude, who has this, who has that? She also probably will sit there, wow, that's true, yo. What is this? You hear? You should know nothing is for granted. Nowhere it says, yeah, he says in that small book, he says, the ladies have a mitzvah. Mitzvah, he calls it a mitzvah, to serve husband dinner and so on and so forth, and to the houses. But he doesn't say it's only on them, huh? What? What's that?
It's mandatory.
Yeah, it's not mandatory. She's doing a good chesed for you. But you also have to do a chesed for her. You also have to help out. You're a man, but guess what? You know what a man is? A man is a person who can stand up and do the dishes, and do the laundry, and do the whatever. If she, God forbid, gets sick, what are you gonna do? You're gonna call Rodriga? No. Maybe if you can afford it, yeah? But you have to, as a man, you have to do that. When things happen, guess what? You have to be a man and be a man. Huh?
Step up to the
Exactly. And never step up to the plate when she's laying down in the bed. Never. That's already too late. You gotta step up to the plate in the beginning. You should know. Many shalom bayit problems we have because of the fact that we're not men. Just like you said, what? Who's the herb? The guy smoking or the guy looking? Who's the man? The guy sitting there waiting his wife to do whatever she quote unquote has to do, or the one who gets up and actually helps her out and actually does the dishes and actually does the whatever, actually gets up there and does. He's the man.
Changes the blood.
I'll be honest with you, this Shabbat, there was a big load of dishes there. Big load. And usually my wife does it Sunday, sometimes that night, sometimes Sunday morning. I took a shower this and that. I said, I'm going to be right back. I went downstairs, washed all the dishes, stacked it up
Moshe
nicely.
helped you out?
Nobody helped me out. Stacked it up nicely, beautiful. She gets up.
She was asleep.
Can I
She
book
didn't.
you? Can I book
She didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. This, that, then. And at 6 o'clock in the evening, she's like, "Oh, I thought the girls washed the dishes. They told me you washed the dishes." You understand what I'm saying? Why? I wanted to do something good. She's been good.
A brownie point.
Recently, she's been good, and I wanted kilo brownie points. Yeah. Why? To show her. I'm there. And that was not the first time I washed dishes. And you know what? A real man washes dishes. A man who doesn't wash the dishes, he's not a man, he's a baby.
Dá um pacotes over there.
He's a baby.
How do you ensure they're not gonna get used to it though?
You know what? You know what?
actually tell.
You don't worry about the enjoyment. You don't worry about that's all.
I didn't say enjoy it. I
No.
said how do you ensure they're not
Oh,
gonna
so you know what?
expect it then?
If you're a man, she's not gonna do that to you. If you're a man, she's not gonna do that to you. She's gonna be embarrassed that you're washing the dishes for her. But you know what? You don't want to embarrass her. You want to help her out. Say, sweetie, you know what? One day, when there's a little bit of dishes, wash it. You'll be like, she gonna look at you completely different man. She'll be like, wow, this husband cares for me. I mean, I don't want her to record this, but at night when you need her, she's there for you. Why should she be there for you? Why should she be there for you? Who are you that she should be there for you? She's, in the kitchen. Huh? She's in the kitchen, trying to do her best, this, that. And then she comes tired and you're sitting there like a king waiting. What? You go tell her, listen, you chill. I'll be right back. You chill right now. Here, have a drink. I'll be. You know what? That's going to be a completely different evening. Understand? We have to be.
Put my apron on.
Yes. We have to be men. Men is not Al Bundy. That's not a man. That's Al Bundy. They're all nastayashi. You understand? I'm not saying you should do the woman's thing completely all the time, but there are times, and there are many times, that a woman needs help. You have kids? You don't have kids. A woman, eventually, once you're gonna have kids, she's gonna need help. And you know what? Sometimes the kids don't come because there's no help. And therefore, Hashem says you don't need kids right now. You know why? She's gonna be overwhelmed. When you're gonna show me you're gonna be a man, because tomorrow she's gonna be this, she's gonna be that, she's gonna be that, and you're gonna have a whole balagan this. I don't want to create more shalom bayit problems for you. I don't want to do that to you. So I'll leave you kidless for now, and then when I see that you could handle it, then I'll give you a kid. Why? Because then she can handle it. But like this to give you balagan, you say, yo, where's my thing? Yeah? You think it's Hashem. Let her treat you like a kid for now. And then when you grow up to be a man, I'll give you a kid. Not you, but I'm saying in general, yeah? So, but the biggest connection that Hashem wants us to do is through this breaking of going to wash the dishes. You know what you did? You did what's called breaking of the character. He says one of the biggest problems we have is egocentricity. We have egocentricity. We have the biggest ego in the world. That's why we have problems with brothers, in-laws. We have at work. All the problems. You know why? You know who I am? Who the hell you think you're talking to? Yeah, who are you? You understand? See, I'm doing this every day, right? We have a class, we have this and that. And I have such a Yetzer Hara that the biggest Yetzer Hara is me. The other day, I'm driving normally. I want to get into a lane, try to go. And the guy behind, bop, happened to be an Arab, taxi driver, right? I got so furious. Why? I went in, right? But he did the same thing I did. For him, it's okay. And me, he said, bop, just for a second, right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to go in front of him. I'm going to give him, And then I'm saying, why do you want to do that? Hashem is testing you. And the other side is like, no. Go tell him, bop, you. And I'm like, but you're stupid. That's a test right now. So you got to chill. And you know what? I'm talking to myself and I'm driving, right? It's on a BQ on Kosciuszko Bridge. Finally, I don't know if you saw, but you were sleeping. Finally, I got up to him and I just looked at him. And I'm saying to myself, Durak, nicho ni говорю, ходи. Because that's the test. And I just left. I didn't say anything. But you know what? A man would think, you tell him, yo, But that's a test. Hashem is testing us every single day. On our midot, are you going to break or are you going to fail? And most of us are failing. You know what? In the morning, guys tell me, no, but that's different. Nothing is different. Everything is a test. It's a test to build our character. And the only way we can build our character is to palamat ourselves. Palamat ourselves to do the dishes. What's the big deal? Palamat ourselves to at least take the laundry where it's supposed to be. I don't do it, but at least take it. Palamat ourselves, she did the laundry, I fold it. It's easy. You hear what I'm saying? I put it together. Palamat ourselves, take your socks and your friend. From now on, if you don't do that, take your socks, your underwear, put it in the hamper. Why should she do it? Nowhere does it say you should take your shoes, put it nicely. See, these little things are going to make you a man. Because they're going to improve your character. You have to work on yourself. She doesn't have to work on you. She has to work on herself, but you have to work on yourself. And that's where the build, that's why we have relationships the way we have. Our relationships are very, very tumultuous. Why? Hashem puts us in these type of relationships for us to work on ourselves. You understand? It's be'emet. He wants us to be Navy SEALs when we get up after 120. So bottom line, what we have to learn is that we have to, number one, make a connection with Hashem. Number two, improve our character by breaking ourselves, breaking our nature. Number one, not to get upset when somebody beep, 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 and you didn't do anything. And number two is at home, try to help your wife. She's your wife. You should know she is your half. She's the one that was split up 40 days before you guys even came to this world. She has your neshama. You understand? You and her are one neshama. And therefore you have to look at her, wow, my beautiful wife. And she has to look at you, wow, moj slatki, my husband. Yeah? And just like you would help yourself if you're falling, or before you fall, you have to help her before she even has the thought of falling. So we have to change that attitude of ours. We really have to do, including myself. We have to change that attitude. Yes, sometimes you're going to be like, what is she? All day she's doing, she was nothing. Help her. That's exactly what Hashem wants you to do. Baruch Adonai Le'olam.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.